Hello everyone, this is Jason Bjorklund of the Iowa Golf Association, and this is the second video in a series that is highlighting the GHP Handicap Program online version. Our talking points for this video will be score posting and handicap lookup features. On the score posting side of things, we're going to talk about how to post a score for a member, i.e. a golfer who keeps their GHP number at your club, as well as score posting for guests, or golfers who keep their GHP number active at another facility. And then we'll move on to the lookup features, again, the different avenues for members and guests. You can see my note here, the improved from the software version. They have added a couple of very nice features that make posting and looking up things even better for the golfer. If you're familiar with the software, you'll see the features there when we show it there. If you were only familiar with the online version, then disregard that note about the software version there. So let's start with our desktop look again. As you'll recall in the first video, I told you that I have a shortcut set up to the online test club for myself. You could have a shortcut on your desktop, you could have it in your favorites or your bookmarks, however you want to access it. Just to reiterate, the address is ghpse.gin.com. That stands for GHP Handicap Program Score Entry.gin.com. And as we said in the first video, and I'll probably emphasize again and again, Mozilla Firefox, the browser of choice for this. It's fine to have the others browsers for your daily work or everything else, but when you're accessing the online version, you want to make sure you're running it in Firefox to avoid any small glitches you may come across otherwise. So we have our main screen that's opened up here, and this is our public side of things. We can tell because it's easy buttons here for posting, for members and for guests, as well as our handicap lookup. So our first walkthrough, let's pretend that a member of your club, someone who keeps a GHP number there, has finished the round or is visiting the golf shop and says, I need to post a score. They're going to want to click on Club Member Score Posting. And I have it set up to where I can offer the golfer the option of clicking on GHP number and typing in their GHP number to find themselves, but I default it to last name lookup because that's the most popular way to go with it. So let's type in an E to start with, just a last name. You can do all or part of a last name and say next. And I have one golfer in my test club with a last name that starts with E. If I would have had more than that, they all would have been shown there as well. So we'll pick Ernie for this example. It's got a blue line through him. He's the only one I can choose from here, so I'll click next again. And I'm going to get the prompt of when did you play. This is a familiar look, just an updated style of a calendar. Because these examples are being recorded in the off season, I'm going to backdate it to last season in the active. So I can choose home, and it'll allow me to post it. Otherwise, if I post it today, it's going to tell me I'm out of season. So home is our default. I'll leave that as is and say next. And I have two home courses for my test club. I have Des Moines Golf South, as you can tell, and then I also have Otter Creek here. For all of our clubs out there, you're going to have, in most every case, one home club. In a few clubs might have a second layout or a different rotation of holes for a different club, but for most of you it's going to be one listing of your course. So Ernie will say he played a home course of Otter Creek. It defaults to 18 holes, but I could choose 9 as well for posting. Let's post a 9-hole score for him in this example and say he went out and played the front 9 tan tees, and then I'm prompted to enter the ESC score for him. And I'll say he had a 38. I can say next, and this is our screen again that tells us kind of a last chance thing. Does everything look good? Just like with the software, if the very first step we notice is incorrect, the date, I can click on date played. I can change the date. We'll make it the 2nd of October, and I'm taken right back to this screen. I don't have to walk all the way through each type of information. If everything looks good, and go down to the bottom right here and click post a score, and my score has been posted. One thing to note here, we posted a 9-hole score, and it's down here at the bottom. Ernie keeps an 18-hole handicap index in my test club. Therefore, each score in his history is an 18-hole score. This score is down here in the bank waiting to be combined with the next 9-hole score he posts, regardless of where it's from. Then it will appear up at the top with a C for typed, for combined, and then it will be an official score in his record. But for now, it's kind of waiting out in space. Next time he comes along and posts a 9-hole score, that's when it'll get combined and go up there in his record. He can post another score. He can take a look at his course handicap from here as well and how it converts to each set of tees at his home clubs. For now, I'm going to click Finish. And I'm going to take you through how a guest would post a score. It's the same steps, except we're going to take a few different choices along the way to show you the different options for posting a score. So this time a golfer's coming along and he does not keep the GHIN number out at your club, but you have a public score posting station and he wants to get that score posted. No problem, we click the guest score posting button, and here it defaults to the GHIN number, but again I can do a last name lookup. It's just slightly different in this case. Because he's a guest, we have to first select what state does he keep his GHIN number in, and I'll go ahead and say Iowa, and I'll use myself for this example. Now on the member side of things you can put in just a partial last name and go. On the guest side of things, you do have to have the full, complete last name, because we can't obviously put in a letter S in Iowa. It would be such a large pool of pulling golfers back of every golfer that starts with an S for a last name in Iowa. Once I've got the correct state and the correct spelling of the last name, I can go ahead and say Next, and you see there I am. Keep my number out at Otter Creek. So if you had multiple golfers here, obviously you'd select the correct one for what we're working with. Go ahead and say Next. Same type thing here. We're going to have a calendar. I'll backdate it to the second. Now, here obviously is going to give me the options to post for my home courses that are set, and we know that's Des Moines Golf and Otter Creek. Away, I'm going to go ahead and click that now, and this is the same screen you'd get whether it's member or guest. You're going to have the drop down of states. We'll go ahead and pick Colorado for our example, and then you can do a course name starts with. So I'll go ahead and do the letter P and do a Next, and I'm going to get a list of all the courses in Colorado that have current course and slope ratings starting with the letter P. And I could have been more specific. If I would have went PRA, I would have gotten just these two clubs here because they start with the letters PRA. So you can get a little more detailed if you want in that. Let's go ahead and act like we're posting it at Park Hill. And from there, we see that we have two sets of tees that are available for me to post to. It's the same thing as we saw for the member posting at this time. I'll go ahead and select blue, put my score in, say Next, and I'm ready to post my score as is. So that's the improvement on the score posting side of things from the software. If you're familiar with that, I think it's a great improvement. And I'll quickly go back on the member side again, last name lookup. If Ernie was posting a score to an away course, and I'll keep it the date because we can keep the date as today for this example. Going to the away, in the past it used to just give you a list of all the Iowa courses, and then you had to pick other if you were going out of state. Now you got a nice drop down, search for any course, and move on. So it's, club scorecards often are outdated with course ratings change. The club might not have the opportunity to get new cards printed immediately, so it's always a good idea to go with the numbers that you see here online, as they're going to be current, as the State Golf Association will be making sure that those ratings are current on the online versions. So I'm going to go ahead and click Exit down here at the bottom and take us back to our main screen. And that kind of highlights our section on posting scores for both members and guests. And the last thing we're going to highlight in this video is the Handicap Lookup features. Bottom left corner. We'll click that. From the Handicap Lookup button, it takes us one of two ways. Are we looking up a handicap for a member, someone who keeps a GHIN number at your club, or for a guest? We'll start out by looking up for a member. Same type of lookup screen as we did when we posted a score for a member. We can go ahead and type in a letter or for a last name and do a next. I've got a few more golfers with the last name that start with a B in my test club. I'll pick Gary for our example. It's got an index of 20.0. It's going to show me the home courses first. Do I want to look up his handicap info for a home course? And for this example, I'll say sure. We'll pick Otter Creek to start. It's going to show me that his index is 20.0 from the yellow tees at Otter Creek. His course handicap is a 21. He's a 22 from the tan and the black tees. I can change the course down here at the bottom. Well, before we change the course, I also want to highlight we can change it to 9 holes, and I can see what my split is for the front and the back 9 of each tee. So you can toggle back and forth between the 9 and 18 holes as well. As I was saying, down here at the bottom, we can change the course for the golfer we're looking up. And if we wanted to pick our other home course, we could, but we can also do an all courses search at the top. And just like our menu for posting a score, an away score, we have the same drop down. Select the state that applies, and we'll go back to our list of courses that start with P in Colorado. And remember, we're in the lookup part of things, so we're not posting a score here. We're just saying he's going to go and play the we'll pick the Plum Creek Golf and Country Club out in Colorado. And we just want to know what his handicap index of 20.0 converts to for the sets of tees that this particular club has. Looks like they have 4 sets of tees rated for men, and Gary, his course handicap is going to range anywhere from 20 all the way up to 24, depending on the set of tees he plays at Plum Creek. Remember, this is just the handicap lookup part of things, so we're getting information about Gary, what it would convert to at any set of tees he wants. We could also look at his score history here. And there I can tell the effective date. The last time we had a revision was the 1st of February. And we can see all the scores in his history that have been posted here, as well as some of his best tournament scores. I can go ahead and click Exit here. And we'll conclude by looking up a guest handicap. So we'll, again, click Handicap Lookup. This time we'll go over to Guest Lookup. Very similar to what we saw in the earlier versions of posting a score for a guest. If you knew the number off the top of your head of his GHIN number, you could go ahead and put that in. We can also do a lookup for somebody. This time I'm going to pick Chad Pitts here in the office. We'll do a search. There's 3 golfers with the last name Pitts in Iowa. There's Chad. He's got an index of 0.0. And we can see I can stick with the home courses here, or I can go right into the all courses feature. Again, state drop downs. Starts with letter. And now I can see all the courses in Arkansas in this example, starting with S. And we can pick a course. Chad doesn't get any course, no strokes, no course handicap for him, 0 for both the white and yellow tees if he's to go down and play Stone Links with his current index of 0.0. Even though it's a guest, we still have the same capability of looking at this golfer's score history. So we can see Chad's last post scores were in November, and we can also look at his revision scores. Print a label. You saw that on the version where we looked up a member as well. That has to do with the Dymo label printers for courses that have those at their public score posting stations. You can go ahead and print a label for not only members at your club, but guests at your club as well. So a nice feature there. I'm going to go ahead and click Exit. Take us back to the main public score entry and handicap lookup page. And that concludes the highlights of this side of the program. Very clean and concise. You're either posting scores for members or guests, or you're looking up handicap information. Very user-friendly. The first time through a golfer uses it, they're going to pick up on it very quickly. Much improved from the software version. So if you're using a software version still, and you've seen this video and the subsequent videos we're going to be doing on it, get in touch with us. We're happy to work with you to get you converted over quickly to the online version.